Hey, this is James with the Board Game Network again. I'll be talking about C Higgins Rail Pass today. Designed by Patrick Stevens, put out by Numbskull Games. This is a train game, and this train game is unique in that it is very highly historical and geographically accurate. It takes place during the exciting time of when a railroad executive during the heyday of railroad travel in 1920. Now I've got some other railroad games here. I've got Empire Builder. You build your own track. I've got 18XX or 1835, which you build your own track. I've got Transamerica, where you build your own track. I've got Domfrost, where you build your own track. And I've got Rail Baron, which is long out of print, and this is only part of the map. But you'll notice this one has train companies with the track already built for you. You're just traveling based on which train company you buy, then you can travel along that track. So this one is the most closely associated with this one. You'll notice this one is by far more detailed than even Rail Baron on what companies have railroad tracks and where they travel. This game plays 2 to 6. It's a family style game, plays in about 1 to 2 hours. You do need to check the Numbskull website because there are some of these rail passes that have been duplicated, so you need to get that corrected before you play the game. Here's the history behind this game, why it's called C Higgins. Charles C. Higgins learned his skills on the Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy Railroad beginning in 1900. He became an executive on the St. Louis and San Francisco Railroad from 1916 to 1920. He was killed in 1920 while sleeping in his private rail car, which was hit by another train. So hopefully this game doesn't relive this accident, which it doesn't. It just you travel around and you pick up rail passes. So the goal of this game is points. It is not money. You do have money in this game. You start with $50 per player, but there's a cost every day. But the money, doesn't matter how much money you have at the end of the game, you win by points. And points happen when you pick up these passes. Now this is similar to like a trick-taking card or a book-taking card game where you try to collect sets, all the 4s or all the greens or something. In C Higgins, you are collecting these rail passes. You'll notice a bunch of different colors here. We got a yellow and a red and a blue and a green, and some of them are 2-color where you got a black and a red. But when you collect these passes, at the end of the game you get 3 points if you have a complete set of, there's 3 different things you can collect. There's colors, there's railroad types, and there's affiliations. So colors are the border, so all the greens or all the yellows. Or you get 2 points if you have more than another player, any other player, or you get 1 point otherwise. So it's always good to have the passes even if you don't have more than anybody else, or if you don't get a set. Then there's also the railroad type, like scenic, short line, narrow gauge, and so those work into, you can collect a set of those or have more than some other player. And then there's also affiliations, Union Pacific, Southern Pacific, Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe. And so you look at the card, and the card has a little logo down here, so this has got an S on it. So you look at the sheet here, the scoring sheet, and the sheet that has an S says short line. So this is part of the short line group, railroad type. And so some of them actually have 2 different logos on them, so they would fit into more than one category. So that's how you win the game, by getting the most points. So to start this game you get $50 per player. You start in Chicago. All the trains start in Chicago. I've got this set up for a 3-player game. you'll notice these cutaways where Chicago's right here, but there's an arrow drawn here. And it's because all these trains are in Chicago, all these train companies. And so instead of putting all those logos, cramming them in there, they got this cutaway. You'll notice there's cutaways for New York, New Jersey, Baltimore. And so you put your trains there to start with. And it's not a problem to have more than one train in the same city or to pass each other on the rail line. That's not a problem. So when you set up, you take your payday card, which is this card here, and it's got 6 cities printed on it. So the red, if you took the red train, you would put red payday markers down in the 6 cities around here. Now if you're that's for 2 to 4 players. If you're playing 5 players, you only use the top 5 cities. If you're playing 6 players, you only use the top 4. So that helps moderate the length of the game. So the way you play this game is you move along the route. The first player only gets to move up to 1 space, second 2, third 3, and the fourth 4. But then from then on to the end of the game you can move up to 4 spaces. So, and you don't have to move at all. You'll notice there are a bunch of train companies in Chicago, so you can just not move at all on your first turn and pick up a pass that matches one of these to start with. Once you've done your move, then you pay for your daily expenses. Your daily expenses are $5 plus $1 per city dot you moved into for the game. So if you moved 4 spaces, that's $4 plus the $5 daily fee, and that $5 daily fee is $2 for food, $2 for lodging, and $1 to telegraph back to the main office. So that's how that breaks down. So you're always paying that $5 plus however far you moved, and then you can pick up a pass if the city you're in has a pass logo in it. If it doesn't, then there's not a pass associated with it. When you're reading these rules, it's not completely clear that you can only pick up a pass associated with the city you're in. But that's the way it works. And so if you pick up the pass, so like if you're in Billings and there's a Northern Pacific logo there, Billings, Montana, what you do is you look in there's a red square with a black outline, so you would look in the stack that's red and black, and you want to find the logo that matches this logo on the board. I would suggest you don't look at the name, because sometimes the name doesn't match the logo, the verbiage on it. Look for that logo, find it on the upper left hand corner, and then you take a white marker and cover that logo to show the players that that one's already been taken, so you're not digging through the stack looking for it. Now you notice these rail passes have a number on them, and that number tells you that on your next turn you get that much free movement. It does not cost you on the next turn. So this one's got a 4 on it, so you could move your whole turn 4 cities for free. You still have the $5 daily cost though. Now, once you've done this, if you run out of money, since you started with 50 and you've got that daily cost, if you run out of money, then you forfeit any money you have left. If you can't pay your expenses, you forfeit any money you have left, and you cannot pick up any more passes until you pick up another payday token, and that payday token gives you $50 again. Now there are other these are called assist cards. Assist cards have a cost associated with cost this much. You can buy them on your turn. And this express train allows you to move 1 extra space. So instead of moving up to 4, you can move up to 5. Now it still costs you 5. It's not a free move. It just allows you to move farther. And then there's also restaurant passes. There is the Mississippi River that's going up, splitting the country in half, and it actually is drawn up through Canada just so it completely separates the two halves of the country. You've got a Western Restaurant Pass, which gives you free food on the west side of the United States. You've got an Eastern Restaurant Pass that gives you free food on the east. Those are both $25. It saves you the $2 food fee you're paying every day. You've got a dining car that costs $45, which just you eat at the dining car, which gives you free food no matter where you're at in the United States, anywhere. You have a hotel pass that's $25. It gives you free lodging on the west side. You've got an Eastern hotel pass, which gives you free lodging on the eastern half. And you've got a sleeper car, which you just sleep in the rail car and gives you free lodging across the whole United States. That's $45, or across the whole map, not just the United States. And then you've got a private rail car, which gives you free food and free lodging, and that's $80, but you still have the $1 per day for telegraphing the home office. So, the end of the game, once somebody has picked up the very last token, whether that's the 6th one or the 5th one or the 4th one, the very last one that they have, their color, then the round ends. So whoever started the game, you need to know who started the game, and then the round ends, and then what you do is you score up all your passes that you picked up. So you would just go down here and say, okay, Bill, how many yellows cards did you have? Mary, how many yellows? Fred, how many yellows? And then you put some tick marks in there, and then orange, and then whatever, and then go down into the railroad types. There's COG, scenic, short line, how many, and you get tick marks, and then Union Pacific Southern for the affiliation. And then so once you got all the tick marks, you can go through and say, okay, you had a complete set, so you get 3 per pass, or you had more than anybody else, so you get 2 per pass, or otherwise you get 1 point per pass. You total the columns up, and then whoever has the highest number, highest point total, is the winner of the game. So that's how you play C Higgins. There are a couple of alternate rules, and those alternate rules are, especially if you're playing for a younger, with your kids, with the younger players, you can do the short version. And the short version, it just eliminates money. You don't get money for picking up the payday markers. You don't have the assist cards, and you're not given $50 at the beginning. You just move around and you pick up passes. You just have some fun, and that will shorten the game a little bit because you're not dealing with the money. The long version is to ignore movement on the front of each rail pass. So this number where you get free movement, you ignore that. You don't get that. But, however, the cities on the back, you'll notice the city, the big white dot, that's where you pick up the card. But any cities on this map, you can travel along this rail line for free instead of paying that $1 per city cost. So a lot of these might have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 cities associated, so you can travel along that and save that money. So that's the longer version of the game. It's a little bit more bookkeeping there, keeping track of which ones you have so that you can save money there. And that mimics along with Rail Baron. You do the same thing in Rail Baron. But that's how you play C Higgins. Make sure you check out their website, Numbskull Games, if you get this, to make sure you get the duplicated cards corrected. And they also have this sheet on there. And what this sheet is, and I would suggest you print at least one of these out. You might want to print one per player maybe. There is a lot going on this map board, and so this helps you see where each card is located. If you've got the orange, you're looking for oranges, or you're looking for yellows, or you're looking for the E's or the S's, or the whatever set you're trying to match, you can try to find them, and it's easier to see them on here than it is on here. So let us know what you think of this game. If you get this game and you play it, let us know in the comments down below. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Check out our Facebook page, And always come and see what all new games we're talking about on the Board Game Network.